We are live. It is Markus and Jessica here with the Change Days podcast. And guess what we are talking about? Not rain, but it is raining in Ireland and in Canada. Is it not, Markus?
Yeah, it's amazing to have that connection from Ireland to Canada, and it feels like we're sitting next to each other. So, welcome from my side as well. And yeah, really looking forward to talk about change and speed of change today.
Speed of change. I'd never thought of that concept until I met you and saw turtle transformation. And because I come to the side of, well, change either happens or it doesn't happen. So I'm fascinated to hear the insights that you have, that you and Miriam, your wife, and your Leadership Institute talk about the change. And how do you motivate people, Markus, when change is slow? Because we are a fast society and us old ones less than the young ones. How do you help your kids change, considering you have like 12, 4?
Four. It's only four, not 12. That would be a big change to have 12 kids.
Oh.
No, about what you are about is, and that's the name turtle. Yeah? You know, a turtle is an old animal moving slowly. Exactly, and that's the way how you can drive change, because a turtle is a wise person, and especially if you're talking about enterprises and huge organizations, it might be quite hard to decide we change something in 2 or 3 days. So it requires a process and a wise process to make the right decisions on the right points. And I just talked to a client and we talked about that. If you start the change, with which group of people you start the change. Yeah, and it's about choosing the right champions where you are aware that you will have success with the change. And then you start extending it to the organization. And that, again, is also a slow process because you start probably with a group with one team of 10 people before you roll out your new change to 10,000 people. And so it's about really wisely choosing how we do it.
And so how do you communicate that to the what's 10,000 minus to the 9,000 other ones? I don't know if you said 100 or 1,000. How do you communicate to them that change is coming? We're just trying it out with these guys first without losing them because they want change faster. What's that communication sound like?
Do you have to communicate to them? That's a big question. And I think it's again the question: what kind of change we are doing? If we sell the company, or if we introducing a new planning tool. When we introduce a new planning tool, we start with one team, test. If we see that successful, we slowly grow it, and after that we do the all communication. And if we take this extreme example, the company gets sold. Yes, we need a communication that everyone knows about it, because if they don't know about it, they might lose the trust in the organization. But afterwards, it's really about creating awareness that this requires step by step where we get. And for some, it might take, I don't know, 6 months until some change is coming. For others, it might happen fast. But again, it's about choosing wisely how to run the process.
So if you do it too quickly, you lose trust. Or is that not true? And you're just saying that doing it slowly, and then when it works, you already proved the change is good, and that builds trust with the other ones.
Exactly. If I'm slowly, I can use the results what we did there, and then build up more trust, and also show the people, hey, we already have the proof of concept that it's working and it's going out.
So if you do this on the personal level, let's say me, who hasn't been to the gym in my life, and every New Year's resolution is go to the gym, lose 5 to 12 kilos, depending on how much I've been into the donuts that year. How do I do that self-trust process with myself, because I have no other teams to watch except for my boyfriend with abs. And that just demotivates me because it's so far away and so impossible, it seems. How do I self-trust more?
Okay, I would like to rephrase the question. Why do you want to go to the gym?
Because I don't like being slightly obese. Makes me sad that I lack that willpower.
Okay, and why do you believe that a gym is solving that?
Because they're good at marketing. Because
Okay,
walking isn't enough.
but you're aware that there are other ways to do it?
Yeah. I guess the question is then all those other ways don't seem fun. None of the options seem fun. And so if there's no fun, which is my thing, how do you make change fun? How am I going to do it? Because the motivation isn't strong enough yet. I'm not fat enough yet, let's say, right? So humans usually change when the pain is stronger than not having it. So I'm not there yet. So how do we take that human New Year's resolution problem and move it forward? The priority
Okay,
of change.
you mentioned an important word, pain.
Okay.
People change something if the pain is high. Agree.
Yeah.
Fully clear. If the pain is high, we change it. But there are also other ways to, without pain, to change something. And this is about knowing yourself and knowing why you want to do something. If you have a clear picture why you want to do that, then you don't need pain. Then it's really about understanding yourself. And that is now something you can't solve like this, or there's also not that one YouTube video which tells you that is your why. This is now, we're talking a lot about self-awareness, about knowing yourself, about knowing what drives me, why I'm on that world, what I want to achieve. And if you have, very often people have then their North Star, it's a point where they want to go, what they want to achieve. They want to, for example, they want to be successful in their job. And so they are aligning all the work to get into that direction. But then going to the gym doesn't contribute to that why. It makes you not more successful. It might be different, because you have to believe, as a successful manager, I have to be fat, because successful managers in my image are fat people sitting in their chairs and leading an organization. So if you have that belief, you're not going to the gym.
Yeah. That's funny.
And that's where we talk about self-awareness and about your beliefs and clearing your beliefs. And then it gets much easier to go to the gym if you see, oh no, my image of a successful manager is someone who is also looking quite good, is in good shape, and having that. And also, for example, if you're staying at that example, if you create an awareness, oh, it's not only about going to the gym, it's also about the healthy food which gives me energy and all the nutrition. So your why is probably changing away from going to the gym to going to, okay, I'm really taking much more care about what I eat, how I eat, and which will bring me to the same result as the gym might bring me. And that is something where I myself and my wife, who are running together with me the company Turtle Transformation, are doing a lot of work. It's about we helping the leaders to know their personal why they are here on that world, what they are driving, why they are doing the job, and then helping them really aligning their work and also being true to themselves, walk the talk. Because for a lot of them, it's like, okay, that's my why. I want to be the best manager, and I want to be no micromanagement and authentic, and so on and so on. But the reality looks completely different. And for me, the interesting part, the higher we go onto the leadership level, the difference gets bigger and bigger. A lot of C-level talk about great visions, about family-friendly organizations, about sustainability, and all of that. But then if you talk to them, yeah, I'm living 10 minutes away from the office. I drive every day with my big BMW to the office. Okay, why you don't walk? It's 10 minutes only. Why you don't go by bike? Now that would be sustainable. And helping people to open up the eyes, creating that awareness, and then doing a slow change. Because if I tell him, okay, the next 7 days you go by bike to the office, he might do that because he wants to impress me, and he said, okay, yes, I got you. But on day 8, he forgot about it. And because the stress level is so high, he goes back to the drive by the car.
Great point. Stress is so high, he goes back to the old habits.
Yes.
And so a change requires different behavior. And so how do you not go back to it? It's like being very clear about having your motivation, your why on the board, having a regular meditation sessions, having coaching sessions, having a support group, like all the stuff that we all need to initiate change. Do you have a habit changer that I don't know about yet? Is there something that is a big success that you could share?
Okay, so very short, some advertisement. We have a program which is called 66 Days of Change. Because there are a lot of people believe change is happening after 14 or 21 days. That is wrong. There are studies out there which showing that in average, it takes 66 days to change a habit. So based on that study, we have created a program where we guide you over 66 days to change your habit. Cool. And I can stay in the words of Tony Robbins, for example. He says also always continuity. Doing something for more than 3 or 7 days. And the best way to get there, accountability partner. Have an accountability partner who helps you to stay on track to do that for more than 7 or 14 days. And if you do it for over 66 days, the habit really change and it gets natural for you. And for me, it's always super excited in these 66 days programs to see when the shift is coming in the people. So we just had a client some weeks ago. It was after 42 days. And then after these 42 days, she sent me an email. Hey, Markus, something happened to myself. It changed. And I have to do the new thing. And if I leave it away, it feels really strange. I want to do that. And that was really so, okay, after 42 days for that person, the habit change happened. And then we had another 14 days in the program to establish that, and it got her really more clarity and more focus for her life. So she's a mother where the relationship with the kids is quite challenging, and they changed something and took the ownership, and that changed. And it's so beautiful to see these processes where the change is happening. And it's the same in organizations. If they decide, okay, we want to introduce a new goal setting or a new feedback method, very often they use it in Q1 to give feedback. Everyone follows the same outline. So they have done it once. And then probably in Q2, they do it once more. And then there's no reminder and they forget it. So leaders in Q3 falling back onto their old way to give feedback. So they haven't changed the way of giving feedback. Yes, it was just someone missing to remind them, hey, we aligned on that new feedback method. These are the 5 most important things. Please use it again next week in your feedback sessions. And then, as I said, it takes 66 days. So only giving 3 times feedback is not changing something. You have to do it more often to get in there. And this is again, the turtle is coming in. Do it slowly, do it wisely, and the change is happening. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm convinced.
Because you have always that smile in your face. I like that on you. So it's always and it makes you very sympathetic. So how how do you bring that smile and that humor into your change processes?
That's why I thought it'd be interesting for us to talk, because I do fast change, like using the intuition and making a decision in that moment. And of course, it's not the same thing, but because I've been so focused on pushing people to finally do it, I guess I'm the first step kind of trainer. And you're there with them for those 66 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's really cool when we use our own personalities and our strengths, and somehow they lead us to what we excel at. So it is kind of cool to hear that, since you do, as I found out about you, that you do homeschool your children, you have a level of patience that I, even after 666 days, would not have, to be able to spend all day with children. So we go towards what we are called to do. And so for me, I smile a lot, and I really want people to have joy kind of in the moment. So I don't think I'm a long-term sustainable change kind of person. I have to admit that. And I guess I don't have to be that. I think people also need encouragement, like that cheerleader. They're only there, they're not there at the practice. They're there at the game when the stakes are high and they need that, like, that push. So I think I'm more of a cheerleader. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So a cheerleader is making the show in front of the group. So would you say it's because cheerleaders, they bring a lot of energy into the stadium. Yeah. Would you say you bring that energy into the change processes as well?
Well, my question to you was like, well, where do you get the motivation from?
Yeah.
Right. And so if you don't make it fun, if you don't show them the why, and for me, the why, that personal self-development one, it's really hard to do that on a big basis, because you need time with people, and that takes years, says the Buddha, right? So I think sometimes there's this, like, planting of a seed, like, yeah, like, this is what it could look like. So that high energy, that motivation, I didn't become a motivational speaker by chance. It really became me. And so I think people need that push, probably, and then they need their hand held with accountability through the process, and knowing their why sustains them, if that's possible. So, like, the gun goes off with the tortoise and the hortus, the tortoise and the hare, right? Someone needs to light that gun off, so they start. They both make it to the end. Well, the hare kind of falls out, but maybe if there was a second edition, he would finally make it because he got advice from the turtle transformation. So maybe there's that gun shooter that gets people moving, or that divorce that makes people wake up, or hitting rock bottom. That's when people change the next day and they stop drinking from one day to the next. How do you guys in Turtle Transformation explain cold turkey changes that do last for 20, 30, 40 years?
I get to the question, but what I'm wondering is, how do you bring yourself onto the energy? How do you do that?
Oh, no one's ever asked me before. Cocaine? No. I just have incredible, and I'm 15 kilos overweight. So if this is the funny thing, Markus, I have to tell you, coach to coach here, weak person to you here. I have so much energy and I'm extremely healthy. I'm only 41, but the motivation for me to be, like, fit and healthy, and do the splits and work like 14 hours on my feet, I can already do that. So for me to want to lose that weight and to treat my body healthier, I literally have to think of it like when I'm 70, because I'm going to be fine until I'm at least 60, because I see my parents, I see my body type, I see my energy level now. So I'm like, 30 years in the future, I have to be motivated for. When I'm 60, I'll start, like, like that young person. Not that I'm young, but if you're doing well, why change the couple things that aren't doing well? Like, you have to really know yourself so well to get to, like, the minute motivations. That's what my problem is.
But does that mean you don't know these days where you wake up in the morning, lying in the bed, and you feel like, okay, I don't want to stand up, I just want to sleep more? You're always like jumping out of the bed, here I am day, let's do it, rock it? Or
Yeah, I almost always jump out
Okay.
good.
Okay.
But I think that's more in the mind. So having a healthy mind, well, this is the question. Having a healthy mind, but an unhealthy body is possible because the monks aren't super fit if they sit under trees for 16 hours a day and meditate, But the mind is so powerful that maybe, not that I'm saying I only work on my mind, but I am saying that the power of knowing what you want and going for that. And those smokers in Texas, they've been smoking 65 years and they don't get cancer. They still got good teeth. There's a theory that says it's not what you eat, it's with whom you eat, right? This community, this lifestyle, this dedicated to your goals. So sometimes I think we need to work on this so much more than, I don't know, you're in my thought process right now. What do you
To
think?
be honest, it's even much more difficult to work on your mind than going into the gym and just pump for 2 hours. For most people, it's much easier to go into the gym because everyone goes there. You have done something, you're sweating, you have done something. But sitting down, reflecting on your mind, and really getting to the level that you're living on your full potential, it means that you really have to understand yourself and work much, I would say, harder with yourself than going to the gym. And even the tricky part, if you go for 6 months to the gym, you look different. If you do for 6 months heavy work on your mind, you're not looking different. You're still looking the same. That's
That was super deep, Markus. I enjoyed that.
yes.
I feel like it was a little coaching session, and so I'm super grateful to have had total transformation. I won't be able to go to your workshops that you have in October because I'm running a workshop, but why don't you tell the lovely viewers about what you're doing in Ireland?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for that. So I talked about knowing your why. And we believe that knowing your own why is super important to be in your mind on the highest potential. So what we are doing, we have designed a program, a series of retreats where you combine knowing your why with physical exercises. So
Oh.
in October, you can come to Ireland for 4 days, get your personal development on knowing your why, and then hike to Ireland's highest mountain, which is 1,000 meters. And don't be scared. It's not like hiking Mount Everest. It's only 1,000 meters, so it's about 5-6 hours. So it's 3 hours up, 2.5 hours down. It's a very good path to get up there. But it's in the nature. You connect with the nature, with the quiet, with the power of the nature. And plus all the self-development work, plus the community is a great way to relax and focus on yourself and come back with a much higher level on power. If you're not that much in hiking in October, you can join us in May next year for kite surfing in Denmark. We do the same there for 6 days with a kite surfing trainer and a yoga trainer, and combine the knowing your why really with the challenges of waves and winds and kite surfing. And so we are sharing the links afterwards under the video. It's turtletrafford.com/knowyourwhyandfly. So feel free to have a look on that.
Know your why and fly.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I'm stealing some of your ideas here, and I was hoping that you could come to our festival called Shift, because the question is, how have we shifted? And I'm inviting coaches and therapists and trainers to come to Barcelona end of October, 25th to 27th, and explain their secret on how they have shifted something. So for me, it's like, how do you jump out of bed in the morning, every morning? And I think now that we've talked about it, it's like my personal process was being very clear on why I wake up in the morning and why I do this job that is hard to really market yourself all the time, to build your brand, to be an entrepreneur for the last 20 years. That's why I jump out, because I really like it. But I don't jump to the gym. So I need people's help to help me with that health side. I need maybe the meditative side needs some help from. So we're all going to help each other with our best tips for how to change. And we're going to have a big party, really. So we invite everyone to come either north or south, depending if you want to hike or you want to go to the beach. That will have to be the decision of the month of October for our listeners.
Yeah, definitely. And looking forward. Probably there are people who are joining hike first and then flying to Barcelona. I checked the flights already as well, how to get to Barcelona. So if you're really all into change, do both events.
If your life is that terrible, join both of us.
Yeah, and you know, we have to think about the 10x. Yeah, don't just decide to do one. Why not doing all of them? And it's very often the limiting belief that if I go in October to Ireland, I can't go to Spain and at the end of October. No, you can. It's easy. There are flights, and yeah, that's a big opportunity.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure, a real pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm never going to the gym again. And now I know why. But I will look at Zumba class, and I will look at swimming, and I will look at walking on the beach because I'm moving towards 1 minute from the beach. So I understood the 66 rule, and I like that. Thank you.
So I'm sharing a secret. I don't like to go to the gym as well. I don't like it to go because it's always like this. It doesn't feel good. I have a morning routine, and so the part is a lot about journaling, it's about self-reflection, but it's also about 20 minutes kinetics exercises, which I do by an app, and it helps as well.
Yeah, I need an app. Or one of those jiggly machines.
Exactly. And you can use AI. So these apps have all AI in there. You give them your data, and AI is creating the perfect training plan for you. So
if only AI could do it for me, this world would be a better place.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a good end. So thanks for everyone for joining that session, and hopefully see you soon in person.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.